in the grand tapestry of British royalty. Some figures shine so brightly they become legends, while others, equally deserving, fade into the shadows of history. Today, we pull back the curtain on one such forgotten royal, Princess Charlotte of Wales. The woman once destined to be queen, often called the Invisible Princess. Born in 1796, Charlotte was the only child of the future King George IV and Caroline of Brunswick. Her parents' marriage was a disaster from the start, a union of political convenience that quickly descended into mutual hatred. Trapped in the crossfire, Charlotte's childhood was anything but a fairy tale. She was isolated, used as a pawn in her parents' bitter battles, and often separated from her mother. Her father, the Prince Regent, was controlling and neglectful, while her mother was flamboyant and often absent. Yet, despite this lonely upbringing, Charlotte blossomed into a spirited, intelligent, and compassionate young woman. The public adored her. They saw in Charlotte a beacon of hope, a stark contrast to her decadent and unpopular father, and the madness that had plagued her grandfather, King George III. She was their future, their people's princess long before that term was ever coined. She was known for her down-to-earth nature, her rebellious streak, and her genuine warmth. She once famously declared she would never marry a man she didn't love, a radical idea for a royal heir at the time. Her father, however, had other plans. He tried to force her into a strategic marriage with William, the hereditary Prince of Orange. But Charlotte, true to her word, resisted. In a dramatic act of defiance, she fled her home in a public carriage and sought refuge with her mother. The scandal was immense, but it only made the public love her more. They admired her courage and her fight for personal freedom. Eventually, Charlotte got her wish. She found true love with Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld, a handsome but relatively minor German prince. Theirs was a genuine love match, a partnership built on mutual respect and affection. After they married in 1816, they were ecstatically happy. They lived a quiet, idyllic life at Claremont House, away from the toxic London court. For the first time, Charlotte had the loving family she had always craved. The nation watched them with delight, seeing them as the perfect model for the future monarchy. Soon, the news everyone was waiting for arrived. Charlotte was pregnant. The country erupted in celebration. The future of the Hanoverian dynasty seemed secure. This baby would be second in line to the throne, ensuring a stable succession. The excitement was palpable. This was more than just a royal birth. It was the dawn of a new, hopeful era for Britain. But then, tragedy struck. After a grueling 50-hour labor, on November 5, 1817, Charlotte delivered a stillborn son. The nation's joy turned to quiet sorrow, but the worst was yet to come. Just a few hours later, in the early morning of November 6th, Charlotte herself died, likely from postpartum hemorrhage. She was only 21 years old. The news of her death sent the entire nation into a state of shock and unprecedented mourning. It was a collective heartbreak, a national catastrophe. Businesses closed, the docks fell silent, and everyone, from the highest aristocrat to the poorest commoner, wore black. The country was plunged into a grief so profound it was later nicknamed the Great Grief Day. They hadn't just lost a princess, they had lost their future queen, their symbol of hope and renewal. Charlotte's death created a succession crisis of epic proportions. With no legitimate heir, the race was on for King George III's aging unmarried sons to find wives and produce a new heir to the throne. Royal baby race directly led to the marriage of Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, to Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld, who happened to be the sister of Charlotte's beloved widower, Leopold. A year later, they had a daughter. They named her Victoria. And so, the crown that Charlotte was born to were eventually passed to her cousin, Queen Victoria, who would go on to define an era. Leopold, heartbroken, later became the first king of the Belgians. A respected and wise monarch, but he never forgot his first love. Today, Princess Charlotte is largely a footnote in history, eclipsed by the monumental reign of the Queen, who took her place. She is the Invisible Princess, the future that never was. Her story is a poignant reminder of how quickly the course of history can change, a tale of love, defiance, and devastating loss. But for a brief shining moment, she held the heart of a nation and represented the promise of a brighter dawn. Her legacy lives on, not in a crown or a throne, but in the story of the princess who fought for love and was mourned by an entire country. Thank you for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden histories. Let us know in the comments what other forgotten figures you'd like to see us cover. See you next time.